Hello and welcome back to You Like It, We Don't. I'm one of your three hosts, Marjin, and this is an official You Like It, We Don't press briefing. We are officially following suit with Solo Star Wars, and all coming out as pansexuals as of the very next podcast. So I would like to declare my love for this bowl of Cheerios.
I'm Maeve, your second host, and I'd like to declare my love for my toaster.
I'm Urbia, and I love my fork.
Yeah, we should never break up with either of our girls, Urbia, because if we do,
never
they'll get
cheat,
together.
never break up.
Yep.
Girls.
But remember,
guys.
this is next episode.
I know we said
Yeah,
girls.
true, this is next episode, and much like Star Wars, we'll never reference this ever again.
So guys, are we talking about Solo today?
Yes, we are. All
Are
right.
we dropping enough hints yet?
Yes. All right. So
Yeah.
basically, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna go through the story of Solo. So major spoilers ahead. If you don't want to get any spoils for this movie, leave now.
I don't understand why.
Yeah,
why
even
you
though you
would.
shouldn't really care, though, it's a pretty bad movie. Not as bad as The Lost Jedi. Not as bad as The Lost Jedi, but I mean that bar is so low. Oh God.
It might be
that
slightly
bar is
better
so
than
low.
Rogue One. Maybe. I'm not sure yet. Like, what do
No,
you
look.
think?
You know, guys, it just
I don't
occurred
know.
to me that this is the third bad Star Wars movie in a row now. Does that officially qualify as a
Yeah.
hat trick or something? I'm not.
Mm.
How are we gonna score this?
I mean, look, a lot of people enjoyed Rogue One, but let's
on
be honest.
purpose.
Yeah, but let's be honest here. There's a minimum of 2 movies now in a row that are bad. So
Yeah,
You
and
know-
one of them not making a profit, which makes me feel all warm
Yes,
inside.
which is-
That's,
Great.
yeah, I don't. Like, goddamn,
which
they
is
really,
but so yeah,
really went full retard.
for today's podcast, we're going to be talking about basically we're going to run through the story of Solo with you guys, and we're going to just tell you our gripes with the story, and maybe also mention a couple of plot holes here and there. So yeah, guys, let's dig in. Urbia, you would like to start us off?
Should we start at the very beginning with like the heist that Solo pulled off,
Well, we
Yeah.
can't
Right.
start with the crawl, can we?
Yeah.
or even that? Yeah, you want
Alright,
to start
so,
there? What did you
Urbia-
think of that?
Yeah, let's start at the beginning. You start us off, man.
Okay, so yeah, that sucked. Like I don't know what else to say because it's like there's so few ways I can say. Well, this sucked. Well, I can say
Explain what
that was horrible.
Explain
This is
what
bad.
happened. Explain what happened and then tell us why you think it's bad.
Man of few words. on
Yeah,
the podcast.
what did you think
Before
of this thing? It was
anything-
bad.
We see a scroll, not like a Star Wars scroll, just like, lines of like, the Queen or
Yeah.
whatever, and
Basically, they were just showing lines on the screen and just telling you what's happening instead of doing a crawl, which is like,
Yeah.
okay.
Look, I know
Was-
I'm not a
yeah.
programmer or a graphic designer, but how hard is it to fucking do a crawl?
I mean, look, it doesn't matter if it's hard or not. The fact that they're still not doing it for Star Wars movies is just weird.
Yeah, I know they say it's because these are Star Wars stories. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, still do it. dude.
Even all of the games got a crawl. I don't know
Except
about
for
the
the
two
new
new
ones.
ones.
Except
but,
for the new
but
ones.
okay,
yeah, I don't think the
They
new
don't fucking
Battlefront
count.
games.
Yeah, they don't count
Yeah.
because they're EA. Like EA and that the CEO of EA and the CEO of Lucasfilm.
need to fuck.
No, that would just create Satan himself. No. I'm saying that it's crazy how those two companies have such bad CEOs and they managed to get together to ruin Star Wars. Ain't that great? Kathleen Kennedy and what's the guy who's running?
I was about to say Owen
Yeah,
Wilson.
okay.
Owen Wilson.
Yes.
Andrew Wilson.
Yeah, Andrew Wilson. Oh, my
Okay.
Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson.
Yeah, he's shit too.
Alright, so yeah, Urbia, please go into more detail, man. Come on.
Alright, so I mean the scrolls are horrible. Like there's not much to say. Like I was like when I saw it, I was like, oh god, this is probably gonna be a bad movie, but it's not bad yet. And then it zooms into this random place we don't know where, and Han Solo's stealing something, and he gets away pretty easily. Like, remember they started running towards him, like, let's get him, and he's just like going on an open lane straight. It's like, how long were these people running for before they realized that they're not gonna catch up to him? Like, they were running last we saw them. Like, remember that? Like, oh my god, like, what was this? Like, let's get him, guys. Like, there was like 10 of them. Like, all of them ran.
Yeah, so Solo and Khaleesi are together as well after this scene, right?
Yeah.
Called correctly. And then they go meet up with this worm lady.
Yeah, some gangster boss.
Yeah.
By the way, how intimidating a gangster boss can you be when you're confined to one place?
Yeah, when you're confined to one place and looking at the sun burn you.
Yeah, I mean, at least Jabba had to sort of, bulk to make him intimidating, and he moved around slowly.
And why does he have a window if he can't look through the window? Like, it's
no. There was wait, wasn't there like he was pretending that he had a grenade or something in his hand, and it was a thermal detonator.
As a subtle, and I'm using air quotes, subtle homage, which is another way of saying shit on that scene in Return of the Jedi where Leia had a thermal detonator.
But he's lying, and it's a big rock which he throws through a window, or was it the wall?
No,
window.
He threw it at the window, but this is once again not that funny.
It's not funny.
It's more
also
awkward than funny.
Also, guys, wait. Now that I remember myself, when they left that place, it wasn't that sunny though.
Yeah, it was pretty dark.
I mean, it was still midday, though. It was still midday, if I'm not mistaken. Because remember the chase scene afterwards? They got to the spaceport. It was still midday.
It was still midday, but it wasn't as bright as that light that came out of the window. I mean, whatever.
Perhaps.
But okay, speaking of the chase scene, I'd just like to say this yet again. Drifting a speeder is not as epic as drifting a car with tires. It just fucking isn't. If something can hover, it's not cool to drift it.
Yes.
So having it go against the wall, that's better. But drifting it isn't. And he pulls his entire wall.
The chase scene wasn't the worst part of the movie. Surprisingly, it's one of the better parts.
Well, yeah, but you want to know why it wasn't the worst part of the movie? Because it didn't span the entire fucking movie. That's why there wasn't a.
But like when it comes to chase scenes,
they did have a
this chase scene
both chase scenes. They couldn't make
did not end in a suicide bombing.
I mean,
there was a suicide bombing in this one, wasn't there?
No, there wasn't.
Yeah, there was. Remember, she blew herself up.
Oh yeah, the chick blew herself up.
Yeah, so okay, that's another thing we can expect in these movies. We can expect gambling, fuel, and suicide bombings.
Yeah, that seems to be. And
chase scenes. Okay, but sorry, jumping the gun there. That spaceport scene, guys. This thing was jarring for me. And let me just put this out there. I fucking hate airports. Every time I go to an airport, I hate it slightly more. And that whole uncomfortable thing about how the stormtroopers are roughing up people, but never roughing up any of the people that are actually doing something.
Yeah, not the people who are like walking quickly. Yeah. It's like they're going for the people who are walking casually. Like,
yeah, there are people walking with dogs on chains, roughing up a woman that's trying to go through a security gate and so on. What do the stormtroopers do? No, there's this random family over there that I want to punch with my blaster.
Yeah,
shall we point out the first plot hole yet? Yeah. What their big plan was?
So Khaleesi and Solo were getting chased away. They make it to the spaceports so that they can leave the planet, and they use fuel to bribe the lady at the counter.
Security check.
So I would like to point out here is a very bad writing moment, because that means that their entire plan rested on them bribing this lady. Yeah. Their entire plan
And they
rested
even,
on this.
but you see, this starts
like,
that.
That's it.
But this once again reiterates this whole Disney trope now, where they like to point out their own plot holes in the hopes that we won't be that angry at them, because they sort of pointed out, listen, what happens if we just stick this in, the lady takes it and doesn't open the gate? To which the reply is, fucking exactly. Do you see what your plan is?
You know
yet?
what was very weird though is that those guys who are basically gangsters are walking through there. She closes the gate when Solo walks through and then calls security on Khaleesi.
Who
And
gets
it's
taken away by the
who gets
gangsters,
taken away
and
by
the
the
stormtroopers
gangsters,
don't
yes.
fucking come near them.
So what the
How
fuck
hard it
are
is to
you
get a passport? Like,
Yes, are
really?
you
It can't
saying-
be that hard.
Yeah, are you saying
I get it's
that
the Empire, but really? This was
Yeah,
your plan?
not only that, but why didn't she just open the door? I mean, it didn't leave yet. It was stationary. She could have just opened the door.
And I know
don't
sci-fi
understand.
asks this degree of suspension of disbelief, but come on, let's face it. Even on our airports, you need to fucking scan your passport if you want to leave.
Yeah.
Even if you do bribe someone
Yeah.
at a modern city airport, it won't work because you have to fucking scan the passport.
Yeah, they ask you for your passport again before you board the plane. Like,
Exactly. They make sure that you are who you are.
do you have coaxium to give to the next person?
Yeah, like
Did you
imagine
think
that. Like imagine
far
that.
ahead?
That's the equivalent of me going to the desk over there and they're like, passport, please, and then I give them a big jug of aeroplane fuel.
Yes. you slide
Yeah,
the jerry
slide
can
it,
over.
Jerry can over his side. It's like, here's my passport.
It's worth $8,000. Let me
Yeah,
through.
let me through.
It's like, this isn't a fucking subtle bribe
Yeah,
at
it's
all.
like you expect me to get out of the airport carrying this.
But even like, let's say you use something equivalent, like diamonds. Like, people like will report you. Like, they don't care how much diamonds you give them. Like, they'll think you're a terrorist. Like,
And you get X-rayed in the airport these days now. Most scanners can detect that.
Yes,
now.
also,
Yeah.
most of the time you can't even buy a ticket unless you give your passport number, a valid one. So, like, it just
But
makes
okay,
no
speaking
sense.
of identity geniuses, how fucking stupid is it? Han Solo, number one, okay, this is where he's given his surname, but that's another plot issue. We'll get to that. He's able to
Yeah,
join.
but okay, this is after.
Yeah, after-
he leaves
Oh, wait,
and
I
goes
just
into the
wanted-
academy.
I just want
Yes.
to add one more thing about the coaxium. Wasn't that their plan to, like, use for monies, like, for later when they live? Why were they going to give the entire coaxium away just to get away from the planet? Like, how are they going to live after that?
I don't know. I also don't understand
Disney
why.
Because
Han
it
knew
seemed
that-
like they were going to use that to live somewhere else, not
You know
to
what the weird thing
bribe
that I also
someone.
find is that Solo leaves the planet and then he goes to get registered at the academy instead of going back immediately to save Khaleesi.
Yeah, wasn't that a slight
his
chance?
But his ultimate plan was to save Khaleesi, but he wanted to go to the academy first.
But 3
but-
years later, really?
Yeah,
You're
3
going to
years
wait that
later-
long?
Yeah, 3 years later, after he got reprimanded and got
Yeah, but okay, let's mention that though. After he and Khaleesi get separated, he goes to join the Imperial fleet. Doesn't need any identification or anything like that. Guy asks him his name. He goes, Han, what's your last name? I don't know. Solo.
No.
Types it in,
Yeah, he
approved,
says-
done.
He says, "What are your, who are your people?" And then he says, "I have no people." And it's like Han Solo, and that's how he gets his name. So just so that I understand this, Disney Star Wars thought it was a good idea to let us know how Han Solo got his name. Why couldn't he just fucking be Han Solo? There's no other person in Star Wars where there's ever been an explanation for why they have the name they
Yeah,
have.
Luke must have literally walked on the sky once.
Yes,
He
like,
walked on the
yeah,
sky.
imagine that, like, Luke got shot out of a cannon when he was a baby or something. It's,
Yeah.
Skywalker, there we go, that's his
And
surname.
the
Fuck,
Emperor
like-
must have fucked a teenager. You know, Palpatine.
Yeah. Like, just, I don't know. It's so
and
stupid.
I know I keep getting back to this, but this bothers me so fucking much. How do you apply for fucking anything without a surname, let alone joining the Empire's fucking fleet?
Yes.
He gets approved instantly,
Yeah,
too. Like the guy
instantly,
types in Han Solo, bing, approved.
Yeah, and we never get to find out why he was kicked out of the academy.
No, remember he had an idea of his own, you know? Tell, don't show. That's how you do a movie, right?
The
Yeah,
thing is,
but
like, they
that
explain
sounds-
Solo, but they don't explain Han, so we
Yeah,
only
the
have an
thing is, that
explanation
would've
for
been
half
so
his
much
name.
cooler to know what happened to him, why he got through that, but instead they just say 3 years later, now he's in.
Now he's in the infantry,
He's
in an
apparently
army.
he's apparently in World War One now.
Yeah.
You know, where you can't see anything while in a war, and he's just there, and he's infantry, and then he sees Woody Harrelson, flipping his guns during each shot to kill people when you can't see anything. So it's like,
But
what
Woody
the
Harrelson
fuck?
took... But this is another thing.
Yeah, it was so fucking dusty.
It was so dusty, yet he's somehow hitting them and has enough time to flip his guns in both hands and shoot people while on top of a hill. It's
By
like,
the
what
way,
the
it just
fuck is
occurred to
going
me.
on?
Harrison, as we're about to cover, turns out to be a gangster. Number one, what is he actually doing in fucking combat? Surely he stole the officer's uniform to hang back. Why would he actually go into the battle after stealing the uniform?
I'm not too sure why he would do that. He was there to
Steal a ship.
Coaxium, but somehow he ended up in the war.
Yeah, he
but
somehow actually ended up as being an officer.
Yeah, a captain. Like,
Yeah, it makes no sense because then he meets up with his friends who are also gangsters and they weren't in the war, but somehow they're there waiting for him in a ship that is the same ship that the other Empire ships are using.
And
So
God, they've taken Imperial military incompetence to the next fucking level. Where Han asks, what's our objective? To install a sympathetic government and install Imperial order. Okay, where the fuck are we going? I'll phrase the question like that then.
So yeah, he asks. Okay, so Han realizes that Woody Harrelson is not who he says he is, and then he asks Woody Harrelson if he can join his crew. After which Woody Harrelson accuses him of being a deserter,
And he gets thrown,
into the pit where he meets Chewie for the first time. So
At least we think it's Chewie again. So fucking dark.
yeah.
yeah.
So he meets Chewie, and Chewie starts beating him up with a lot of I don't know the way that,
Shaky cam.
a lot of shaky cam, but they were sort of like showing it in a way that's made it seem as if Chewie was staying alive because he was eating people that were thrown down there.
So they imply he's eaten at least a couple.
Yeah, so they imply that he's eaten a couple of people, and then Han starts speaking to Chewie
In Wookiee.
in Wookiee. So a guy who's been stuck on a planet that's not the Wookiee planet at all, by the way, somehow learnt Wookiee, and then is in a situation where he talks Wookiee to get himself out
And
of
he
a bad
and he says
situation.
he speaks some of it, but understands all of it.
I mean, maybe he met a Wookiee before. Who knows?
Yeah, lunch on these old planets.
Yeah. So okay, fine. He then convinces Chewie to hit the bar that
They escape.
They escape,
And
and
Harrison does a full 180 in allowing
Well,
them to
yeah,
come.
basically they start running after the ship, and then the pilot of Harrison's crew,
Says,
Harrelson, is it Woody Harrison?
It's Woody
or
Harrison.
Harrison,
He
okay.
convinces them a Wookiee would be valuable, and this somehow translates
Oh, no, he
to
doesn't-
let both of them.
No, he doesn't say it'll be valuable. These are his exact words. He says, "Have you ever slept on a Wookiee's lap?" That's the thing that convinces Woody Harrelson. So, Woody, what the fuck?
Yeah, but you realize they're not wearing pants.
Yeah.
Ah!
Hermia! No!
So
Why
Harrison's
would
a
you want to
pansexual
do
in
that?
this-
So, yeah, basically, that convinces Woody Harrelson to let them onto the ship and to join them in this thing. So, They then go through, I'd argue, the biggest botch up in history for any,
Fucking train heist.
fucking train heist ever.
Yeah, you know the Great Train Robbery? Yeah, this is the fuck up robbery.
Yeah, everyone dies except for Solo and Chewie, no shit, and Harrison.
Yeah, they're trying so hard to be a Western movie by like trying to cram
Yeah,
it in a train robbery
Did
scene.
anyone else notice that moment where Harrison's wife is now, she's cornered by the Marauders and she's going to heroically blow herself up. And meanwhile, I'm looking at the Marauders and going, you can just fly around the fucking pillar and shoot her, right?
Well, I mean, the thing is, it wasn't Marauders, it was two bots. It was two sentry bots that were shooting at her. And then they were flying sentry bots, and because she ran out of ammo or something, she decided she's gonna kill herself and blow up the bridge. But the sentry bots can fly, so why did you blow up the bridge?
Look, I was found it more jarring with how
what the
cool
hell?
Harrison took his wife's death.
Oh yeah, he was like, no!
He's like,
and then
"No!"
we never hear about it ever again.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, my wife is dead! Pass the chips, guys.
Yeah.
yeah, he's all chill later.
Yeah,
Afterwards.
Yeah, he
Takes
was
it
like,
so
he
calmly.
says no once.
His wife dies and they blow up a mountain. He's like, he treats it the same way as tipping in dog shit. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't even take a day off work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the Marauders, who are busy attacking the train with them at the same time, hook onto the
train car.
the train car that
effectively.
has the coaxium in it, and then they head towards a mountain, and it's like basically a game of chicken at this point.
Of which Han Chicken's
Of which
out
Han
first.
Chicken's out first. Let's go of the coaxium, but then the Marauders also let go of the coaxium, and then it explodes off the mountain. During this time, the pilot gets shot, and then he says to Solo to take over from him, and then he says, "You're a great pilot, kid," but Solo was just flying
Yeah, he's
straight.
just flying straight and level.
Yeah.
Which means guys, this is a good news. It means I'm a great driver. The way I keep my car between those lines, man. Fucking amazing.
I can keep my car straight on the road. I never go off the road, guys.
We're
Damn,
all
son.
epic drivers here, guys.
So yeah, it was very odd. So yeah.
There's enough oddness to go around, especially when we go to the yacht.
Yeah. So after this, Harrelson reveals that he was getting the coaxium for
Crimson
Scarface.
Dawn. Yeah.
For Scarface, which is the bad guy of this movie. But by the way, it's Vision. It's Vision from Infinity War.
Yeah, we'll
So-
call him Scarface or Vision, whichever you
Yeah,
prefer.
I'll interchange it throughout
Yeah.
this entire
Scar Vision.
Scar Vision, yes.
Scar Vision.
Yeah, Scar Vision. So, Scar Vision is the first scene we get. Okay, firstly, they all walk into the yacht, on Scar Vision's yacht. By the way, Scar Vision is on the same planet as them at the same time during this heist.
So you obviously wanted to take delivery like fucking immediately.
So, I find that kind of odd. 'Cause
Which means they had more manpower. He could have helped them take
he
out
could have
those
had more
Marauders.
manpower, and if he's on the same planet, doesn't that raise a couple of eyebrows? Because he wanted to keep it a secret.
Meanwhile,
But then
his
your-
ship looks like a giant floating penis in the sky.
Yeah,
and why
it's-
didn't he just help shoot the Marauders? Well, okay, it was too busy looking at the entertainment for the night. That was
Yes.
jarringly fucking
Yeah, so
weird.
they get onto the yacht. Yeah,
There's
yeah,
some serious fucking weirdness
Yeah,
here.
look,
A
there's-
woman with a microphone attached to her face, singing into another
Oh,
microphone.
I just
with
realized-
Yeah, wouldn't there be
Guys, wait a second,
interference
I just
from
realized
the
it's the guy
it
from
being
Teenage
right
Mutant
next to each
Ninja
other?
Turtles.
Where? Who?
He's the one that was singing. The guy from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Remember the brain?
Oh my
inside
god! Best
Really?
crossover ever!
Krang! It was Krang!
Craig! Come on, Craig! You're better than this, man! You
You
can't
can do
take
better
these
than
gigs!
Yeah, Craig, what are you doing,
Come
man?
on,
I know that your
Craig.
career went downhill after you lost to
I
the
know
Turtles,
that-
but seriously,
I know
come
that
on.
that Turtles kicked your ass, but that doesn't mean you just need to pack it in.
So yeah, that was a weird scene.
Yeah,
like
Krang
the
and
singers were
microphone.
so strange. So yeah, they walk into this yacht, and then Solo. Okay, so the first thing that we find out, they show a scene with Scar Vision,
Stabbing
Stabbing-
an imperial governor.
Yeah, stabbing an imperial governor with no no repercussions apparently.
And never referenced.
And they never reference it again. And at the same time, while this is happening, Solo meets, Khaleesi on the yacht. Wow, fortuitous, don't you
Yeah,
think?
it's almost like it was scripted.
So
Almost.
yeah, almost.
What are the
Almost.
chances? Like, these are galaxies, and like,
Yeah, so
You know
somehow
hard it
she
is?
manages to get a job with the one guy that wants to steal coaxium, which Solo managed to find the gangsters that want to steal the coaxium for that guy. So the amount of coincidences that are happening in the span of this short time frame are ridiculous. So she acts really cool, is like, oh, how have you been? What? He says, no, my plan was to
Come and get you.
come
but I
and get
failed.
you, but I failed. Which is weird. He gets demoted. He doesn't get demoted. He gets kicked out of the academy. He becomes a basically normal trooper. Then he tries to get this money so that he can go back and save her. But
Meanwhile,
then he
she
meets
got
her.
off fine.
Meanwhile, he meets her on the yacht.
But anyway, so they, along with Harrison, are in deep shit with Scar Vision
because they fucked up.
because they didn't get the coaxium and put a big dent in a mountain. So now they're trying to convince him that they can get raw coaxium on Kessel,
Yes.
refine it, and bring it to him. And with Khaleesi's help, they actually convince them they can do it. Now, aside from the fact that Kessel is a spice mine, why the fuck is there raw fuel there? The fucking
Look, the thing is,
logistics of just
let's
getting to
be
this
honest.
place.
Solo was here so that it could make the Lost Jedi seem less worse. Because let's be honest, they failed. Because let's be honest here, they needed to double down on the fuel thing. Because if they didn't, the Lost Jedi would have just But I mean, it doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make any fucking difference.
Don't tell them that. They don't
Yes.
know.
Yes, it's so fucking retarded. You wrote yourself into a corner.
And now they're just writing this corner closed
Yes,
for themselves.
it's just
Because
so
now we know what the next movie's going to have. Chase scenes, gambling, fuel, and suicide.
Yes.
Suicide
So
bombing.
basically,
By one of the
after
good
this-
guys.
After this,
Yeah.
they realize they need to go get a very fast ship to make the Kessel Run.
Get it?
Yeah,
Get
get it?
Get it?
Yeah. So they need to go get a fast ship. So this is the first. So they go to this. This planet where there's gambling. Oh no!
Oh,
fucking-
oh my
of
god,
course.
here we go.
Of course, Disney. It's a family.
Family! We support family values by our loot boxes. I mean gamble.
Yes.
I mean we're
So
family.
on this planet, they meet Pando. Because
Pando and his
they meet,
bitchy
they meet
robot.
Pando Calrissian, right?
Pando and Bitch 3.
Yes. And there is a game that's happening right here. So Han enters this game because he wants to win.
I would just like to point out, why couldn't they just have made the game Pazak? For fuck's sake, that's an established game. It comes out of KOTOR. I understand the rules of Pazak. It's very easy. It's just like Blackjack, but fucking Disney can't even give me that. But okay.
I mean, look, yeah. So they're in this. They're busy playing this game, and Pando cheats.
Panda.
Yeah, Pando cheats, and he wins against Han and gets the ship. But then the entire scene is made completely mute when Pando meets Khaleesi, and then Khaleesi just asks him to use the ship, and then it's so the entire scene where the gambling was happening so that they could get the fast ship was pointless because all Khaleesi needed to do was just be like,
Yeah.
hey,
The only time that scene pays off is at the end where there's another gambling scene, but the scene is still pointless. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, Bitch 3 is yelling at the other robots to exercise free will. The machine is asking machines to exercise free will.
yes, so...
They're machines, for fuck's
Yeah,
sake.
So yeah, she is called L3, but like Majin has pointed
Yeah,
out, we're going
bitch
to call her
3.
Bitch 3. So
Bitch 3.
she Bitch 3. So Bitch 3 is now saying that, you know, her kind is not served there, and she's trying to get the two robots from stop fighting each other.
Meanwhile, she's inside.
Meanwhile, she's inside.
If you remember in A New Hope, there, when they said they don't serve their kind, 3PO and R2 left. She was allowed inside. So I have no idea what she's fucking doing. What does she want to be served? Brandy, whiskey.
Oil,
What
I
the
don't
fuck
know.
does she
No,
want to
she
be
wants
served?
to be sure served coaxium.
Yeah, douse herself in it.
So yeah, after this, Pando and Bitch 3 show them to the.
I hope you catches on.
Yeah, Pando and Bitch 3 go to the Millennium Falcon. By the way, this isn't the Millennium Falcon because it has a nose on it now. Apparently, it's
The dish
not,
looks different.
Yeah, everything
And
looks different.
they were park booted, remember?
Yeah.
Oh,
The thing was
no.
tied down with the
Yeah,
fucking
it was tied
chain.
down. Yeah, and you know what I also don't understand about this whole scene is that they make it seem when Pando reveals the Millennium Falcon for the first time like it's just a normal, ordinary ship. He's like, since it's so nonchalant, he's like, this is the Millennium Falcon.
We know.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Oh.
It's like,
It
I
was
mean,
supposed to be this big reveal,
you know,
like, this
like-
is the Millennium Falcon. Yes, we fucking know.
I mean,
Get
okay.
on with it.
So yeah, they take the Millennium Falcon to Kessel.
Which
They
I'd
take-
like to point out is an asteroid in the proper cinematic universe, but they make
Yeah,
it
but
a planet
they-
surrounded by a nebula.
Yeah, by nebula and other planet-sized objects that hit into each other, which makes no sense because how.
But
the fuck
somehow
does-
there's this magical corridor. There's asteroids in the nebula smashing into each other, but there's this magical corridor
yeah through
where you can fly
through
through.
the storm
And
of
this
the nebula,
corridor
yes.
adapts. Like you can fly the Millennium Falcon through it, or a Star Destroyer, whichever you
Yeah,
want.
I did.
Yeah, it's like, why would you use a Star
Okay,
Destroyer in
okay,
such a narrow
we'll-
space?
We'll
Isn't
get
that
to the
a bit
Star Destroyer.
overkill?
Let's first say what happens on Kessel, guys, because Kessel was weird.
Oh yeah, as
Like,
soon
what
as you get
happens
there,
on
it's
Kessel?
like droid revolution.
Yeah,
and
so
it's like, what's going on?
yeah, so they get to Kessel, and then Khaleesi pretends to be part of the Trade Federation and says that
Using one
Solo-
of Lando's capes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Pandos, what a Pandos game.
Pando's okay, fine.
Yeah,
I realized I have to correct myself. I said there was absolutely nothing about the movie I enjoyed. Pando's capes. I do like the capes.
Yeah,
I like the
capes, man.
I like fucking capes, man. Capes are the shit, man. Oh god, he fucked his capes, didn't he? Oh, never mind. Never mind. I take it back.
Oh, could you imagine if he told Bitch 3 to wear a cape?
yeah.
But that's another scene that's pointed out. The whole pansexual thing is supposed to come to a head when Khaleesi and Bitch 3 are in the cockpit. All the guys are fucked off, like Kennedy wants them to. And they're now having a discussion about how Lando is in love with her the way Solo is in love with Khaleesi. And I'd just like to point out, we
Well, the thing is-
we
the
kind
thing
of
is-
have to
the
take
thing
her
is
word on this. Pando
You see, the thing
treats
is,
her like a colleague, but never
the
is
thing is,
in love.
Bitch 3 says that Pando's in love with her. And then, when Khaleesi asks, how does that work? Bitch 3 just says, oh, it works. Implying,
They fucked.
they fucked.
They fucked.
They fucked. Somehow, they fucked. Like,
I
don't
wonder,
know-
did he
I don't
have to
know- I don't know
install
if-
something,
Look, I
or was
don't
it
know if
pre-built?
robots have, like, you know, ham wallet
No,
attachments
no,
or something.
no, stop,
like,
stop it, no, I don't need these images, man, I don't
Like,
need these
God
images.
knows. God
I mean,
knows
it's
what-
a robot. Maybe the robot fucked Lando.
Look, hell, even Earth sex robots at least look human, female.
But okay. So they get to Kessel. Khaleesi pretends she's part of the Trade Federation and says that Solo and Chewie are slaves, and she's offering them slaves so that they can get some spice.
Yeah, they say, take them to be, clipped. And then
Yeah.
Solo goes, what do they clip?
Yeah, what do they clip? Yes.
Which, okay, that was legitimately
Yeah.
funny.
Th-
That
look,
was funny.
There are some funny jokes here. It's not like in The Last Jedi where there wasn't a single funny joke.
Yeah, at
You
least, Han Solo fearing that he's gonna get a bolt through his penis is pretty funny.
Yeah. So they go
He's
inside.
gonna get a Prince Albert.
Then Chewie, they escape, and then Chewie goes to free some other, Wookiees.
Wookiee slaves. Well, he had to load the coaxium
he loads the
himself.
coaxium. Meanwhile, Bitch 3 frees the robots on the planet, and then then when they're escaping, shouts out
Robot
Revolution or something.
Robot
she gets-
rebellion.
Yeah, rebellion or
And
something.
then she gets shot, and I swear to God, I wanted to cheer.
Yeah.
I was like, yes! Finally, she's dead!
Yeah, so after she gets shot, Pando again shouts out no and runs towards her. And then, by the way, I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but he does a skidding thing on the floor because there's something falling down at him at the time. But the thing is, he's already done with his skid before the thing even starts toppling down. I found that weird because it's like, why did you even skid?
Yes, but is that any
Okay.
weirder than the fact that they were in no danger during the entire gun?
Oh, yeah,
They
so,
stand in front of the ship.
Well, I mean, look.
That is
But
true.
not-
yeah.
I mean, look. The
not even
fact that-
crouching, shooting with them with
Look, the thing
fucking
is,
cannons,
they're busy
and they
shooting
miss.
in front of the ship. No, not behind cover or anything. Pando even can run through the battlefield to save Bitch 3, which, by the way, I found pretty funny when he was trying to save her. He ripped her in half.
Yeah, that was hilarious. He was like crumbling in his hand.
That was pretty funny.
He
So,
always said he was going to split her in half. Oh God!
Yeah.
No, I take
So-
that back.
so yeah, he
She just got Thanos.
so yeah, he runs then with Bitch. No, Chewbacca helps him. Right?
Helps him to
Yeah,
get
to
Bitch
get
3
Bitch 3 on board.
He headbutts the Wookiee, which is a sort of salute.
Yeah,
They
and
get
go-
on the ship and
they fly off. Okay, then during this time, Bitch 3 dies the exact same way a human would. This is a robot. A
Stop
robot
trying
is
to
not.
make me feel bad.
A
for
robot
this. And
is
she
not
doesn't-
going to die the same way a human dies because, firstly, it doesn't have blood. It's not going to be. It's not going to be saying like what, like barely
Blah, blah,
getting
blah, blah,
words
blah.
out and saying like like what's going on? Like it's
she
going to
can't-
say like, oh shit, I just got shot the fuck up, man. Like you need to fucking fix me. That's what a robot is going to say.
It's a fucking machine. Pull its memory and stick it into something. They do pull her memory out and stick it into
Well,
something
that-
They
else.
that-
save her
actually-
later.
yeah,
Why
like,
all the
so-
drama?
Yeah, so yeah, the drama is pointless because they
They
basically
take out her core
they take
and
her-
put it in the Millennium
they
Falcon.
take her brain, put it in the Millennium Falcon, but they do that because while it's trying to escape from Kessel, going through the storm, they see a Star Destroyer there for no reason. It's just there, and the Star Destroyer. By the way, this is during the time when the Millennium Falcon didn't really have a name for itself or anything. They didn't belong to Han. Han didn't, do anything to the Empire. They just send out these TIE fighters to destroy the ship for no reason.
Yeah.
No reason at
And
all.
of course, he
None.
veers off into the nebula,
Yeah, so-
and without question, TIE fighters follow.
Yeah, without question.
You
yes.
have to admire TIE fighter pilots, man. They will do anything
Yes, so...
to get the kill.
And then the weird part is, so, Woody Harrelson's trying to shoot them down, but then they shoot the thing or something, and then his thumbs hurt or something, and then he can't shoot them down, so then Han goes against one of the asteroids with his ship, by the way, with the Millennium Falcon. He scrapes against an asteroid.
Drifting it.
Yeah,
Because this is the
so,
thing now.
yeah,
drifting.
because apparently hitting your ship against something. I don't know about you guys, but the last time I hit something with my car,
Yeah, but there were multiple
the
times.
wall didn't break.
it wasn't the wall didn't break. My car
Bro.
was the issue. But okay, whatever. rubble from the asteroid flies out and destroys the TIE fighters for some
Meanwhile, I'm
reason.
assuming this entire time Harrison's sitting there with his thumbs.
Ow, my thumbs. Yes.
We're not kidding.
Me
Such
thumb.
a quote is,
Yes.
it really hurt my thumb.
Yes. So they're trying to fly through this shortcut, apparently, and during this time.
Oh wait, shall we do a drum roll before the?
Okay, no, but wait. Let's first. Yeah. Let's first. Address bitch 3. So bitch 3 earlier in the movie, they say and state that she has the best navigation system in the galaxy. Why? We don't
And
know.
how?
She got it? We don't know.
Is
When?
it
When? We don't know.
is
Why?
it transferable into another droid? Getting rid of bitch 3.
Yeah,
I
can you
don't know.
emulate it somehow?
Yeah, but
perhaps?
apparently she just has it for some
By the way,
reason.
did you see the graphics of those maps though?
Yeah,
Like rival the 80s, man.
So they then decide to download her brain into the Millennium Falcon, which, by the way, that means that Bitch 3 was around during the original trilogy, guys. Just try and fathom that quickly. They managed to ruin a ship.
Even Jar Jar Binks wasn't in the
Lucasfilm
original trilogy.
have managed to ruin a ship.
Look, I'm just gonna come out and say
Oh
it,
my
guys.
God,
I
okay.
think Bitch 3 has replaced Jar Jar as my least favorite character. Because
Perhaps.
at least Jar Jar attempted to be funny, and there was a fun conspiracy theory that he was a Sith Lord. Name me one thing good about Bitch 3.
Well, Pando liked her.
Pando likes everything!
Like, could you imagine, like, if he's in the morning, and he's busy, like, microwaving something or making some toast, and it's like, bitch rules. He's like, oh, you're cheating on me now, huh?
Look, for Pando,
Oh,
morning
God.
wood must be the worst thing in the world because he wakes up with morning wood, sees like a coat hanger or something. He's like, oh yeah, baby, oh yeah.
So yeah, they download Bitch 3 into the Millennium Falcon, which, by the way, makes the entire point of her dying beforehand
Pointless.
pointless because
Completely.
she didn't die. She's a robot. Her memories are stored on a hard drive, which I'm
Yeah.
assuming is in her head. So at worst, just a good defragmenting of her hard drive.
And like,
I
you're
don't-
telling me she doesn't have a backup somewhere? Like, it's
Yeah,
the
like
fucking future.
I don't
like-
understand. It's so weird that there's like a mourning period for this character, even though they just put her inside.
that
of
lasts
it's
like,
okay.
what, 15 minutes? at
Yeah,
most?
Han Solo dies, no mourning period. Bitch 3, a new unlikable character. No, she gets a mourning period.
Yes.
But okay, then we get to finally what was being built up to in the trailers for a while. The Space Kraken. They're flying through the nebula.
Or as I like to call him, Cthulhu.
Yeah, Space Cthulhu.
Yes.
Oh no, wait, just
Cthulhu. By the way, Cthulhu confirmed. Cthulhu exists in the Star Wars universe. Let's just say
Okay.
that. So yeah, this.
Well,
this
we've had two
monster-
pretty epic crossovers here. We've had Cthulhu and Teenage Mutant
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles.
So Cthulhu, despite evolving in this area, is right next to the thing that can kill it.
He
Yeah.
hangs around.
Having avoided it in its entire life, it
Yes,
decides to
having lived
approach
its
it.
entire life there, it decides, fuck it, I'm gonna approach it because Solo
Something shiny
fires a escape pod into like the gravity well, and then it's like, oh, instead of chasing the bigger ship, I'm gonna chase the smaller ship right into the
The
gravity.
thing
well.
has a million tentacles. Grab the pod, grab the ship, chow both of them. Credits roll. It's over. We
Yes.
can go home.
I know, but okay.
How it should have ended. There's your answer.
Yes. So yeah, they escape they escape Cthulhu like that, and then they like Hans says to Woody to Harrison to inject some
coaxium into the
directly into the
system,
system, which is unrefined, by the way, at this point. So
Which
they
is
don't-
the equivalent of taking some crude oil, putting it into your fuel system of your car and expecting to have a nitrous effect as you go.
Yeah, that was pretty odd. But okay, it works. But by the way, without he injects it in. Oh, I also like to point out that he gets that syringe from nowhere.
For his ass.
Woody is into some weird shit.
By the
First it's the Wookiee thing. Now he pulls a syringe out of nowhere.
By the way,
I don't know.
If coaxium is such an amazing fuel and it makes your ship go faster, why doesn't everybody just use it? No one in the original trilogy used it. No one.
No, but remember, because they're doubling down on the coaxium thing.
Yeah, trying to make it like have sense.
Yeah, exactly. They're trying
was it
to
just
make
fusion reactors before?
Wait, sorry, Urbia?
It was just fusion reactors before. They didn't really mention fuel.
Yeah. Beforehand there was just reactors on these ships, but now now there's fuel.
Now there's fuel.
Now there's
internal combustion engine, man, it's the way of the future.
Yes.
So they hyperspace out. They get to the refinery.
Oh, but wait! Before they hyperspace out, though, they do a scene where it sort of doesn't work when Woody injects it into the Millennium Falcon. So it's like it stops working, then it slowly falls into the gravity well.
Cthulhu being dead at this point.
Yeah,
like, not even a tentacle coming out to grab it.
So it slowly goes into the gravity well, and then it's like, okay, listen, we know that they survived this. They're in the original trilogy. It's like, I don't know why they added that scene. Just make it work. You're not adding tension by doing that. You just.
But this movie had no tension. Before they even go to Kessel, Woody Harrelson looks at at Solo, and says, "Assume everyone is going to betray you." Oh, I wonder if this is foreshadowing.
Oh yeah. Woody Harrelson, like.
There is no tension.
He consistently throughout the movie says, "Don't trust anybody. Someone will always betray you." So it's no surprise when he actually betrays it. But okay, they escape Kessel, and they did it in under 12 parsecs. Oh, great! Thank you for telling us about how that happened. It's that's great. That's great.
Yeah, my life is so much.
That's great because it's not like in the original trilogy when Han Solo explained that to Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan looked at Han Solo like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
because a parsec
he
is
smirked at him. He said, "Okay, you're bullshitting me, but at least I know what I'm working."
Yes, because a parsec, what is it? It's a unit.
It's a unit of distance.
They're both units of distance. So that's saying I went a mile and 2 miles. It makes no sense.
Yeah, so there was a reason because I recently rewatched the original trilogy, and when you look at Obi-Wan's face when Han says that to him, he actually has that face of like, oh, okay.
That's why Ben went to him, because he said, okay, this guy's a bullshitter. I can play him. I know how to handle this kind of person.
I don't know. I think you're giving too much credit.
Maybe too much credit, but you have to admit that Obi-Wan's face said it all. That
Perhaps.
is for sure. Because Obi-Wan he rolled his eyes. He was like, what?
Yeah,
it was,
and saying it's this magical, mystical, comes out of your asshole fuel that made them do it. Okay, fine, whatever. They reach the planet with a fucked up Millennium Falcon.
Yeah,
they plug in the coaxium, and it gets refined. This facility is as old as God, and somehow still works.
By the way, what is weird about that entire facility is that nobody asks for any monetary compensation.
No.
They're just like, here's some coaxium. Can you refine it for us? Yes.
Sure.
Does it cost anything? No.
That's probably pre-planned, though, so, you know.
This factory's pretty old. Does it still work? Yeah. yeah.
But, okay. Whatever. They refine the coaxium, and,
they beat the Marauders.
They meet the Marauders, and then the biggest reveal in Star Wars history ever happens.
Yeah, drum roll, please.
Yes. So,
dun, dun, dun.
So the leader of the Marauders reveals the helmet, and it was a ginger chick.
Oh my God!
The whole
That's
time.
Never happened. Name me one Star Wars movie where a man takes off his helmet and it turns out to be a.
Oh yeah, Leia did that. Leia removed her.
Leia fucking did that.
Leia removed her helmet when she was trying to save Han Solo in the 6th movie.
And I'd like to point out.
But the thing is, I don't understand the reveal though. there it was an actual reveal because we didn't know.
Yeah, she
if
was
that
portrayed to
Leia.
be a bounty hunter in order to infiltrate. Why would the Marauder try to hide their identity?
Yeah, it makes no.
They keep giving this speech. Everyone here was harmed by Crimson Sun, and that's why we're attacking.
Crimson Dawn.
Yeah, Crimson
Crimson
Dawn.
Dawn.
Sorry, whatever.
How dare you?
We're calling the guy Scar Vision.
Names aren't
No, I'm
important
sorry.
at this
So
point.
they're hiding their identities, but they want Crimson to know that it's them attacking them. Doesn't that kind of, defeat the purpose? It's like me wanting revenge on my old high school bully, but wearing a mask the entire time,
Well-
thinking, yeah, he knows it was me.
Well, look, the weird part is that it's put on as this big reveal because when she takes off her
Yeah,
mask,
the camera hangs
the
there.
camera hangs there for an unusually long period of time, and it's like we don't know who this character is. Why?
Yeah, why is there a reveal?
Why is
Yeah.
this a reveal? I don't understand.
It's
Like,
gonna
And it's not like we're gonna see this character in other movies. Like this
Yeah,
is
like,
probably a
look,
one
if
movie character.
If she removed the helmet and it was Princess Leia, I would have been like,
What the fuck?
what? At first I would have been like, what the fuck? But that would have been a better reveal than just some
At least-
random
They
character.
would at least
Imagine
warn
if it was
the
Jar
camera
Jar.
staying there.
I was Jar Jar. That was amazing. That would have been amazing.
Mace Windu. Now there's a fucking reveal. But I'm just like, I'm willing to bet you anything. I'm willing to bet you all 4 of my testicles that if there's a deleted scene somewhere that gives context to that reveal,
I
but they
wouldn't,
decided
I
to
wouldn't be
take it out.
surprised, but the thing is, it's so weird. It's so jarring. It makes no sense why they linger on her because it's not a reveal. We don't know who this character is. Why are I don't get it. Like, what the
So we go back to
can't
Penis
compute.
Yacht again.
Like, imagine that's the equivalent of a Scooby-Doo episode happening. And then they enter the mansion, and then they're like, and as soon as they enter the mansion, the ghost is this guy. And it's like,
Who the fuck
who is this guy? Why did he do it? We don't know. Just whatever. It doesn't matter. So
So
okay.
they go through another tell, don't show scene. Han decides he's going to take
Well,
the
actually-
Marauder side.
Yeah, so, yeah. The
And then
Marauders
they go-
explain to him about the...
Yeah, how
Things,
they
yeah,
were all
yeah.
wronged. He decides to take their side, and they go back to the Penis Yacht to...
Oh, wait, not
Confront.
before Harrison says that he's leaving.
Yeah, I'm
Remember?
sure he's leaving.
Yeah, yeah, he's leaving.
He's like
he's
totes
not
leaving.
gonna betray them.
No,
He's just leaving. He's just
To go to Tatooine, to imply that he needs to go speak to Jabba.
He's leaving. Don't worry. He's just going. He's not gonna come back.
Yeah.
Or,
Well,
got
there's
back to-
2 more movies apparently.
yeah.
So they go back to the Penis Yacht, they go to see Scar Vision, and then...
Well,
Big
reveal.
reveal?
But yeah. Sorry. Also, when they land here, also with Pando as well.
Yeah,
Like between
he
Han,
actually fucks
between
up.
Solo and Pando, they have this back and forth, and it really feels as if Pando hates Han. You know, like I don't know. During that scene, it really felt like okay, this is weird.
Well, that just means that they're gonna have hate sex.
yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
You can
god.
fuck someone you hate.
Can you imagine the logistics when Bitch 3 became the Millennium Falcon? Can you just imagine the logistics? Like, what the fuck?
Well, at
Do you
least
think it
Han-
felt good
at-
when
at
he
least
put the
Pando
coaxium
and-
in?
at
Or he put
least
some
Han-
coxium in.
At least Han and Pando can both say that one last time they were deep inside Bitch 3.
Yes. So Pando leaves, and after that, Harrison leaves, and then they go to see Scar Vision. Harrison betrays. Okay, so
Oh my
this
god,
is-
he betrays
yeah, so
them!
this is
How
where,
dare you.
This is where
Oh my god, no, can't be.
This
He's
is
such a
where-
nice guy.
This is where the really stupid writing comes into full force. So,
Wait, just now towards the end of the movie?
well, I mean,
That
okay,
can't
this
be
is
right.
this is where it gets
Yeah, the
full
movie
blown
was stupid an hour and a
Yeah.
half ago.
So basically, Harrison betrays betrays Han and says to Scarvision that Han is not going to bring the real coaxium to him.
Which he actually did.
He brings that real coaxium to Scarvision, okay? During this time, Han predicted that Harrison would betray him, so he brought the real coaxium with him,
hoping Harrison would steal
Scarvision.
it, which he does.
And then but then while that happens, the Marauders attack the ambush. So they get ambushed, and then they attack the ambush.
It's ambushception.
Yeah, ambushception. So he decides to bring the real coaxium into the meeting with Scarvision. Harrison steals the real coaxium
Using Chewie to take it off the
take
ship,
it
and
off
then
the
we have a
ship.
nice threesome in
Then,
the office.
Yeah, there's a three-way thing happening now between Khaleesi, Scarvision, and Han. So Han, it just gets so stupid. So Han tries to get his gun during this time. Khaleesi pretends to be in cahoots with Scarvision, and then ends up killing Scarvision. So she betrays Han to betray Scarvision.
That's how it usually works out these days.
Like, it's why didn't she just betray him to begin with?
This is
Because,
so
like,
weird.
I saw her a couple of times during the scene. She was behind him in a couple of moments. She could have just
By
stabbed
the way,
him.
can I just point out this bullshit of, I know how many times people are going to betray me, so if I betray someone else one more time, I win.
Yeah, so just to
It's,
point
I
this out.
knew that I knew that you knew that I knew that I knew that you were going
In
to
the
betray me,
matter-
but that's what you knew, so I knew that.
In the course of 20 minutes. In the course of 20 minutes, someone betrays someone else 5 times.
Of course.
And Solo saw it coming, so he did it a 6th time, and that's when he wins.
So during this time, Khaleesi kills
Harrison
Scarvision.
going off this
Harrison
entire
then
time.
goes off, and then it's implied between Khaleesi and Harrison that Khaleesi is going to leave, which is so weird. I don't get why she says go on with. Okay, whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Well, okay, but here's one of my favorite parts. She says she'll take the ship. He goes after Harrison.
Yes.
During this entire threesome in the office, Harrison is obviously walking off with Chewie. They walk off, he goes over a mountain, and there's Ford. And I swear to God.
Not Ford. Han Solo.
Sorry.
Yeah, you wish it was
I
Ford.
wish it was Ford. Also. And I swear to God, in the cinema, I'm saying, Jesus Christ, Solo runs fast. And the very next words
From
comes
Harrison,
out is, you don't give up, do you? And then Solo goes, I work fast.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I can even predict the fucking
Yeah,
lines.
so again, they're trying to okay, so yeah, somehow
Which means that he went out of the ship, ran around the small gorge, somehow overtaking him,
yes.
all the way there, was enough time to stand there, regain his breath, get rid of all the sweat, get rid of
Yes.
the flushed red in his face, before Harrison and Chewie
Yeah.
came over
Yeah.
the mountain.
Yes. Then-
Jesus Christ, this guy
Yes.
this guy should run in the Olympics. He's a fucking legend.
Then after that, Harrison tries to give a monologue, as all villains do. I don't blame Harrison for giving the monologue because that's just, part of the course. And this brings me to a part of the movie where I was like, okay, this is Han Solo, because Han Solo shoots Harrison before Harrison even has a chance
No,
to...
Harrison shot first.
Well, look, let's be honest here, and I like for all the people who say that Han
Read
didn't
it.
shoot first, Han shot first, guys. It's his character. It's just.
But
It's who
come
he
on,
is.
mate. When the digital remake of the shitstorm comes out, Harrison shoots first.
So.
Han never shoots first.
Yeah.
The guy's kind of slow on the draw, as it turns
So
out.
yeah, Han kills Harrison. Then Khaleesi. Oh, and then
Khaleesi
while on the
betrays
ship-
again!
Yeah, she does another betrayal. So now, if we've all been counting, this is now 5 or 6
No, it's
or
the 8th betrayals.
1
It was
billion.
5. No, wait, it was the
I don't
5
know.
betrayals.
I don't know anymore.
Oh, 5
Yeah.
betrayals.
No, it was,
Wait,
it was,
okay,
it was
wait,
5
let's see.
betrayals. Then
2
Solo
chase
predicted,
scenes,
so it's
1
6,
suicide
so it's betrayed
bombing.
again, so it's 7. It's
Okay,
7 fucking
Alright,
betrayals in the span of 20 fucking minutes.
So yeah, and the greatest reveal ever comes as Khaleesi calls the mastermind behind the entire thing Darth Maul, and I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Darth Maul was behind the whole thing.
I
He
spoiled it
stands
for
up-
Maeve.
He stands up off
Yeah,
his chair, activates his lightsabers,
but-
then turns them off and sits back down
But
again.
okay,
It's
listen,
like, what
Maeve,
the fuck are you
there's
doing?
context needed here. Okay, everyone, I swear to fuck, this is true. Urbia decided to spoil the movie for Maeve.
Yes.
He literally outright said Darth Maul is behind it all. And
And
the
it was
idea is so
so
fucking stupid
that I did not
Maeve
believe
didn't
it.
believe.
Yeah.
So it was still a surprise twist. You can go to someone and say Darth Maul is the bad guy, and they won't
Look,
fucking believe
Look,
you.
honestly, the only time that I actually had a snicker in the movie was when Darth Maul showed up, and I actually had the revelation, like, God damn you, Urbia, you motherfucker. You motherfucker.
But when
You
did he really
tricked me
spoil?
so... Like, the thing is, he didn't... Like,
He
it was...
didn't
It's
spoil
such...
anything.
It's such a
fucking
stupid...
left
It's
field.
such a left field and stupid reveal that I didn't believe Urbia. I just was like, there's like, I actually joked around. I was like, yeah, dude,
Yeah.
and Goku becomes the next Hokage, and then he kills Palpatine.
Seriously, guys, you may want to catch up on your Naruto. Maybe that does happen.
I couldn't believe it. So yeah, and then after that, because we haven't gotten enough gambling in this movie, Han then goes back to Pando, and
he pulls him in close for a kiss. Sorry, to steal his cheating
he
device.
basically hugs him, and then he steals the cheat cards at that time, and then he beats Pando, also cheating, and he gets the Millennium Falcon.
Which
So-
technically would have made them even because he still owns Pando, a ship.
Yes, but I'd also like to point out that that means that Han stole Pando's girl.
Oh, hey.
Han stole Pando's girl.
Yeah, he probably texts him constantly.
Of course he
Guess
did.
who I'm deep inside in? Yeah, I'm moving around. I'm deep in. Oh God, I hate this analogy. I'm backing out of this. Oh God,
And,
that's not
yeah.
even.
You
So,
back out
and
of it.
yeah, and then that brings us to the end of the movie. So,
And we were all so grateful when it fucking ended.
yes.
Oh, I couldn't wait to get out of the theater. I pretty much sprinted out after I was done.
So yeah, I'd like to.
Oh no! Wait! Can I please tell one more story? This. Okay, it was Maeve and I were in the cinema when we watched the movie. There was some guy behind us, but let's just say he had more optimism than was necessary because they get in the Millennium Falcon, they fly off, it closes up, and the credits start to roll, and the guy starts like, yeah. Starts clapping, like legitimately clapping. No one else claps.
Yeah, no one
so
else.
he legitimately goes,
Yeah, he slows down,
and then he
like-
tries again. He tries a second time.
No, he stops for like a good 2 seconds.
Yeah, and then he goes again. He goes again. And we're like, Jesus, dude, give up. It's
Like,
not going to happen.
Like, look.
There are 5 people in the cinema. This is not going to fucking happen.
Yeah, look. Opening night, 8 p.m. on a Friday evening on a Star Wars movie.
At one of the biggest malls
And one
in
of the
this
biggest
country.
malls in South Africa. It started with about 10 people in the cinema.
5 left.
5 left halfway through the movie. And
One guy went to take a shit. By the length of time he disappeared, I'm convinced.
I mean, God knows. He was probably calling someone and telling...
Yeah, don't come watch
don't
this.
come watch. And yeah, that is essentially That's Solo, guys. Like, look, I'm not gonna lie. There are some enjoyable parts in this movie. Okay,
Really?
Okay.
I mean, for
There
me, it's
are-
just the Chewbacca scene.
Look.
Yeah.
Look. That is some things. Like, there are some things which I enjoyed. I enjoyed the fact that Han shot Harrison first.
Harrison shot first.
Han shot
I-
Harrison.
I'm just like, there were a couple of things that I enjoyed, about the movie. There wasn't a
You
lot.
were just drooling over Khaleesi.
Hey. Yeah,
Although-
that's true. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
but hey.
Hey, just because that woman looks absolutely stunning as a brunette, and I couldn't take my
God,
eyes
she
off
really
her
does.
for one
Holy
fucking
shit, she
for
does.
1 second, and then I legitimately had a slight bit of joy. I forgot where I was going with this.
Yeah, look. Khaleesi looked amazing in this movie, but that's beside the point. That doesn't save the
That doesn't-
movie.
No,
Like-
that doesn't even help the movie. I
Yeah,
can
that doesn't even
walk
help.
outside and see a beautiful woman.
You,
Like,
you had the guy that plays Vision. You have Khaleesi. These are talented actors, and
But
they
it doesn't
couldn't
matter.
save this
It
fucking
doesn't-
movie.
It doesn't matter.
Harrison is even a talented actor. If you can be asked to act.
But look, it doesn't matter if you have a script that was written by, I would go so far as to say a child, because the guy who wrote it, what is it? He's the son of the guy who wrote Empire Strikes Back. His name
I don't know.
escapes me now, but he's one of the ones who wrote it.
So
He was the one who tweeted a couple of days before Solo came out that that Lando is pansexual. He's the
So
one.
that
who did
talent clearly that wasn't
it.
inherited.
So that means that, you know what? I feel sorry for Ron Howard here, because he's not a bad director. He was given shit, and then
Yeah.
Kathleen Kennedy said, "Here, polish it."
But then why
And
did
it's
he
like-
do it? Why did he accept the job?
You know,
Yes,
probably-
he is a good director. Why did he do it? He must
Money.
be able to look at
Money.
this shit sandwich and go, I can't clean this.
I know, look,
Money.
It was money. It was all money. I mean, look. At the end of the day, Kathleen, like, this is what happens when you have a CEO like Kathleen Kennedy, who doesn't know what the fans want, what she's doing,
Doesn't care.
doesn't care about the fans, pushes her own agenda for her own sake, and then expects other people to pick up the crap.
blatantly insults the fans and then acts all stunned when the movie doesn't make a profit.
This is what happens. This is what happens when you make a shit movie like The Last Jedi, where you shit on all the fans. Like, let's be honest here, guys. Let's be honest. The Last Jedi was a giant, steaming pile of shit on every single Star Wars fan out there. And then when we tried to tell you that it was a shit movie,
Yeah, they were
you
accused-
then give us shit. You call us racist. You call us sexist. You call us bigots. You call us everything in the book.
Alright, I
And
think you're
then-
taking it too
And
far.
I'm the only one
Dude,
here
that
that's
is what
any
she
of that.
did. That is what she did. That's what Brian Johnson and her did. That
Nobody's
is what
calling
they
nobody
did.
a racist over Star Wars.
That is what they did, dude. Like, that is what they did. I'm not lying here. They did
Yeah,
that to the
but
fans.
nobody's taking nobody seriously, okay? Like
Sorry,
nobody's
Herbia?
taking anybody seriously over that. Like
No,
you
look,
have
they're
to
not taking-
you have to be retarded to
Look,
feed into
look,
Disney.
Obviously, we're not taking it seriously, but the thing is, it's the insults, man. It's just everything. You can't insult your fan base and not listen to them and expect the next movie to do well.
Look, at least
And the movie is flopping hard.
At least
the
we can
box
take them.
office.
We can take comfort in this. They insulted us. Yes.
Yeah.
Think about it. We insulted them back worse. We didn't give them any
We
money.
didn't give them any money.
We
voted
can
with our
call
wallets.
Kennedy female Hitler if we want. She wouldn't give a fuck. The fact that the movie doesn't make money, that hits home. She's gonna spend this. She's gonna spend this forever. She's gonna be on her deathbed and still believe that she did
Yes.
nothing wrong. But at least if this look, one movie not making money is gonna make no difference. The next 5 movies need to make no money before Disney
And
will
look,
finally
the
splatter away.
The big thing is going to be if Episode 9 is a box office failure. because the episoded Star Wars films are the main bread and butter here. Like these ones that come out between each episode, these ones can fail, I'm guessing, according to business and blah blah blah. You know how Kathleen Kennedy is going to spin this. But if a main episode fails, if episode 9 fails, then I am sure at that point that they'll fire Kathleen Kennedy. If they don't fire her now because of Solo,
They'll rather just
they'll
tank
fire
the
her
series than fire her.
Look, the way I see it is, if they're going to keep on blaming Star Wars fatigue, which by the way is bullshit, because
Yeah,
if
that
they were
doesn't
making
exist,
good-
I think.
If the Star Wars fatigue doesn't exist, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what exists? Fatigue for Kathleen Kennedy. That's what exists. We can't, as Star Wars fans, take her bullshit anymore. That is what's happening. If they were making good movies right now, if they were making good Star Wars movies, I would be watching. If they were releasing a good Star Wars movie every 6 months, I would be watching that shit every 6 months to a T. And I would not
Now
regret
there were
it
two
at
Star
all.
Wars series, Clone Wars and Rebels, that we watched without issue.
Yes, it's just I really feel as if they just need they
Well,
need
okay,
to
so the final message then is don't go watch episode 9 either.
yeah, like for every Star Wars fan out there that boycotted this movie,
Thank
please keep
you
it up.
so fucking
Yeah,
much.
thank you
Yeah.
so much. And you know what else? Keep it up, guys. Keep it up. If we boycott episode 9 again,
Disney will have to splatter awake.
yeah, Disney
They
will
won't
have to
do
at that
anything
point.
yet,
because
but
after
they will
Solo-
snap awake.
Yeah, after the Solo box office that happened now, Disney stocks went down. If this happens again in episode 9, finally, I think that they'll finally fucking listen.
They'll
Even-
fire Kathleen Kennedy.
They'll
like,
fire Kathleen
please.
Kennedy, or hey, they might even, put Star Wars aside for a little while. And you know what? I'll be fine with that. I'll be
Yeah.
fine with that if they then put the resources needed. If they go out there and they find a Star Wars fan to take over the reins, and they make him the CEO of Lucasfilm, and then they fire all those people at Lucasfilm who were so far up Kathleen Kennedy's ass that they were like.
Yeah, well, okay, even employees at Lucasfilm say there's a toxic culture there.
Yeah, there is a toxic culture there. And you know what? I just want this. I would rather wait. Like, if they do say Star Wars is on the back burner for a while, I would rather wait another 10 years for a good Star Wars movie, done right, than to
Yeah.
have another piece of shit from Kathleen Kennedy. That's all I'm going to say. But all right, any last words, guys?
Look, all we can say is continue the boycott. The next movie, if it tanks, Disney will snap awake. They won't do anything. They'll still sort of slug about. If the next movie also fails, then they're going to lean in forward. And if the movie after that also fails, only then will do something. Plus, there's the in-between. So there's a possibility of at least another 6 movies before Disney does anything.
Look.
And they won't fire Kennedy, but
I hope
this
they
is
do.
a long haul battle.
I hope
We're
they
going to
do.
have to choose. If we decide here and now Star Wars is worth saving, it's going to be a long battle. Solo means nothing to them. Even the next movie means nothing to them. It's only after that. So this is going to be a long fight, everyone.
And listen, guys, if you find yourself next year at the movie theater with a couple of friends and there's nothing to watch and you see episode 9 there,
Don't
take
go.
it. You know what else? You know what you should do? Take the money that you would have spent there, go buy a bagel or something.
Yeah.
Go to a
Yeah.
restaurant.
Buy-
have a fun time with your friends.
Buy
instead.
the 2005 Battlefront 2 on a Steam special.
Because that's an actual good
It's
game.
a good Star Wars game. It actually brings joy to yourself. Buy the Blu-ray of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Just again, for no other reason.
Yeah, for no other reason. Support the original Star Wars, the one that was actually good, and make sure that Episode 9 is another box office disaster. And yeah, Urbia, any last words from you?
I mean, I still have hope for Star Wars, but like for this generation, for the next 5 or 6 movies, I think it's going to be pretty bad. I think we're going to have to wait at least 6 movies before we get something good from Star Wars again, which sucks. Like,
hey, we waited 10 years. We can do it again.
We can do it again.
We can do it again. Yeah, we're patient.
Yeah. But all right.
We've got God of War. Keep us out.
We've got a lot of other entertainment in the meantime. You know, so we're good. We'll survive. But yeah, that brings us to the end of the podcast. Thank you all for listening to us, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you for all the support and listening to 3 Grown-Ass Men Complaining. We hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share, and please consider supporting us on Patreon. If you want to receive updates on our channel, as well as when we release our videos, please join us on Facebook and Twitter. Enjoy, and we'll see you all next time.